I still remember the day my friend Evelyn, who's 82, gave me quite a surprise. We were at a family gathering, and someone challenged her to stand on one leg without holding on to anything. Evelyn accepted with a spark in her eye. She lifted one foot, steadied herself, and casually counted to 10. It looked so effortless that no one would have guessed just 2 years earlier she'd nearly fractured her hip from a fall. Back then, she was scared stiff of even walking on uneven sidewalks. Today, she's more confident on her feet than people half her age. That single-leg balance she showed off wasn't just a party trick. It was a symbol of her newfound stability and freedom from fear. Falling isn't something most of us think about until we reach a certain age. But for seniors, it becomes a constant, nagging worry. Every uneven patch of ground, every slippery surface feels like a hidden threat. One wrong move can set you back for months, or worse, rob you of your independence. I've seen it happen countless times. A quick misstep in the living room, and suddenly a loved one's entire life changes. The emotional toll can be just as heavy. When you're worried about falling, you stop trusting your own body. You avoid going out, skip social gatherings, and gradually shrink your world until your home feels more like a safe prison than a sanctuary. The stakes are high. For many in their 70s and beyond, a bad fall could mean serious injuries, a lengthy hospital stay, or permanent limitations. It's heartbreaking to watch someone who once danced at every family wedding now shy away from walking down a short hallway without assistance. Yet there's good news. A growing number of experts recognize that the ability to balance, particularly the skill of standing on one leg, can be a powerful indicator of how likely you are to experience a fall, and how quickly you can bounce back if you do. If you can stand on one leg for just 10 seconds at age 80, you might fend off the dangerous falls that sideline so many seniors. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to share 5 key insights that can dramatically reduce your risk of falling. By the end of this video, you'll have simple, actionable steps that can boost your stability and bring a renewed sense of confidence, freedom, and excitement back into your daily life. You'll also learn a surprising technique that almost no one over 65 talks about. Yet it's simple, costs nothing, and could transform how secure you feel on your feet. If you stay with me, I'll show you that it's not too late to reclaim your balance, your strength, and your peace of mind. Imagine still running errands, visiting friends, and enjoying time with the grandkids without anxiety about stumbling. What I'm sharing isn't guesswork. More and more specialists have been investigating how balance tests predict overall resilience in seniors. After all, if you're steady enough to remain on one leg at age 80, you're showing signs of strong leg muscles, solid core strength, and healthy reflexes. This is the kind of insider knowledge doctors and therapists use to spot potential problems early. Today, we're bringing that knowledge directly to you. Before we dive into these 5 game-changing points, I'd like to invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on future videos packed with tips, encouragement, and simple life hacks for staying active and independent as you age. And if at any time you find this content helpful, type 1 in the comments to let me know we're on the right track. If it's not your cup of tea, type 0, and I'll do my best to improve. Now let's explore how you can stand tall, on one leg if you like, and feel more secure in every step you take. Number 1, let's talk about the surprising strength behind balance. Many people think that staying upright is mostly about footwork, how steady your feet are on the ground. But the truth is, balance begins in your core and radiates throughout your entire body. A common misconception is that if you haven't done any specific balance exercises, by the time you turn 65, it's too late to start. That couldn't be further from the truth. Balance is a dynamic skill that can be developed and improved at almost any age. Much like learning to play the piano or picking up painting, your body's internal sense of positioning, called proprioception, adapts to new challenges well into your golden years. Take Bob, for instance. He's 77, a retired electrician who always claimed he had 2 left feet. After nearly tripping over a rug corner, an incident that sprained his ankle, Bob realized something had to change. His doctor recommended a set of gentle exercises to help with balance, emphasizing the importance of core engagement. At first, Bob was skeptical. He assumed core exercises were only for athletes or younger folks at the gym. But within a month of consistently doing simple standing leg raises and gentle abdominal tightening, he noticed a tremendous shift. He told me, "I feel like my center of gravity finally knows where to be. It's like my body woke up." What is actually happening is that Bob started training his body to coordinate multiple muscle groups. The ankles, calves, thighs, and abdomen all have to talk to each other to maintain equilibrium. This ongoing internal communication gets better with practice. Here's the surprising twist. You don't need fancy equipment. A short daily routine can make a major difference. One practical step is to stand behind a sturdy chair, lift one foot off the ground, and try to balance with minimal support. Over time, progress to using just one fingertip for guidance, then eventually no support at all. If you're feeling bold, close your eyes for a few seconds to train your body to rely on your other senses for balance. The emotional benefit of focusing on your core isn't just about avoiding a bad fall, it's about trusting your body again. So many seniors lose trust in their physical abilities after a scare, or even just from hearing stories of other people's injuries. Gaining that trust back feels liberating. It's the difference between saying, "I might trip if I go for a walk today," and "I can't wait to head outside." Number 2, let's highlight mind over matter. How fear increases your fall risk. You've probably heard the phrase, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." When it comes to preventing falls, that's remarkably true. A common misconception is that fear itself keeps us safe, that if we're nervous about falling, we'll be more careful. But the real story is more complex. Fear leads to stiffness, overly cautious movement, and hesitation. Exactly the conditions in which falls are more likely to happen. Ironically, the more you worry about stumbling, the more your muscles tense up and the less agile you become. I remember talking with Gloria, 80, who rarely left her house after a particularly nasty fall on her porch. Her fear had become so overpowering that even walking to her mailbox felt like climbing a steep mountain. A therapist suggested she work on gentle Tai Chi exercises to help her relax her body's natural movement patterns. At first, she balked. She said, "Isn't that for people in silk pajamas swaying around in a park?" But once she tried it, she discovered Tai Chi's slow, controlled motions were perfect for retraining her muscles to move fluidly. Over time, as she saw her limbs move gracefully without losing balance, her mind started to believe that she was capable of stability. Within 6 months, she was making regular trips to the grocery store and even started inviting friends over for backyard barbecues again. Here's the startling insight. Hesitation is the enemy of stability. When you shuffle your feet or take tiny, unsure steps, your body has no momentum to maintain balance. It's akin to riding a bicycle. Try to ride it too slowly, and you become wobbly. The simple piece of advice here is to practice purposeful walking. Lift your feet fully off the ground, take deliberate strides, and keep your head up. Every step signals to your mind that you're in control. Over time, that confidence becomes self-reinforcing. You walk more securely, and because you feel secure, you walk more naturally. The emotional reward is huge. When you conquer the fear of falling, you aren't just preventing an accident, you're reclaiming your freedom. Imagine strolling through a park, enjoying the rustle of leaves underfoot, instead of constantly scanning the ground. Imagine visiting friends without that anxious knot in your stomach, worrying about a wet floor or a step you didn't see. Confidence in your stride can literally open new doors in your life. If you're still with me and finding these insights helpful, type 2 in the comments so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend doing that right now because we have plenty more topics just like this one coming your way. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Number 3, standing tall isn't just physical, it's mental. This might sound surprising, but mental focus plays a colossal role in maintaining balance. People often believe that balance is purely a physical game, but in reality, your brain is orchestrating multiple sensory inputs: vision, inner ear equilibrium, spatial awareness, even the sense of pressure under your feet. A common misconception is that you can't improve these internal processes after a certain age. Nothing could be further from the truth. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself, continues well into our later years. Your mind can still learn new patterns and adapt to new challenges. Consider Sam, 79, who spent his working life in an office. He was never particularly athletic, but he was a champion when it came to solving crossword puzzles. When Sam started having trouble balancing, his doctor gave him an intriguing piece of homework. Solve puzzles while standing on one leg, with a chair within reach for safety, of course. This dual task training forced his brain to juggle both mental and physical demands. At first, he found it nearly impossible. But as the weeks went by, he noticed two things. His ability to balance improved, and he became sharper at solving puzzles under pressure. It was as if his brain had learned to more efficiently integrate all of these tasks. Months later, Sam boasted that not only did he feel more stable walking around, but his crosswords felt easier too. The surprising truth here is that challenging your brain in novel ways can significantly enhance your ability to stand on your own 2 feet. Try this at home. Next time you practice balancing or do simple exercises like toe raises, add a mental component. Count backward from 30, name a state that starts with each letter of the alphabet, or recite part of a favorite poem. The key is to force your brain to multitask. This brain plus body approach refines how you process information and sends strong signals to your muscles about how to respond. Emotionally, strengthening that mind-body connection can make you feel unstoppable. You're not merely going through the motions, you're actively proving to yourself that you're capable of growth. Picture yourself mastering a new hobby, like painting or learning a new language. While simultaneously improving your balance, each little success builds on itself, creating a virtuous cycle of confidence and competence. You start to see yourself not as someone defined by age limitations, but as someone who can still learn, adapt, and excel. Number 4, don't ignore the power of your hips. One overlooked area for many seniors is hip strength and flexibility. We often focus on the feet, ankles, or knees, but the hips serve as the body's central pivot point. A common misconception is that hip exercises are only for athletes trying to run faster or jump higher. In reality, strong hips are crucial for preventing sideways falls, which can be among the most dangerous because you often land on your hip bone. Think about it. If your hip muscles are weak or stiff, your body has a harder time correcting itself when you start to tilt off balance. Let's talk about Harriet, 73, a retired teacher who loved gardening. She found that whenever she squatted down to tend her plants, getting back up was a real struggle. More than once, she stumbled sideways onto the grass. A physical therapist introduced her to targeted hip exercises, lying leg raises, gentle side lunges, and something called the clamshell, where you lie on your side and lift one knee up while keeping your feet together. Harriet stuck to a routine of just 10 minutes daily, often while listening to her favorite music. Within 2 months, she noticed a big difference. She could squat and stand with far greater ease, and she hadn't had a single close call since. The surprising takeaway is that you might already have enough strength in your quads, front of the thighs, and calves. But if your hips can't stabilize your torso from side-to-side movement, you're at risk. One practical step is to incorporate simple sidestepping exercises. Grab a resistance band, put it around your ankles or knees, and walk sideways, keeping tension on the band. Another is to do standing hip abductions. Hold on to a chair, keep one leg straight, and move it outward to the side. Do it slowly so you really feel the muscles around your hip engaging. Emotionally unlocking your hip power can feel like you've discovered a hidden reserve of strength. Suddenly, you don't dread bending down to pick something up or stepping off a curb. You realize that your body can maneuver in all directions without giving out. That sense of all-around security in your movements can reignite your willingness to do everything from household chores to dancing at family reunions. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 4 below to let me know you're here. And remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. That small act of support helps us continue creating good content to keep you informed and inspired. Number 5, practice makes permanent. You might have heard the phrase practice makes perfect, but the more accurate statement is that practice makes permanent. Whether it's standing on one leg or walking without shuffling, consistent, correct practice ingrains these actions into your muscle memory. A common misconception is that improvement requires monumental effort, hours a day, expensive equipment, or grueling workout sessions. In truth, micro-practices can be incredibly powerful. Small, repeated actions accumulate over time, leading to massive gains in stability and confidence. Let me introduce you to Frank, 85, who started a 2-minute mastery routine. Every morning before he even brushed his teeth, Frank would stand on one leg for 30 seconds, switch legs for another 30, and then do a minute of side-to-side hip stretches. That was it, just 2 minutes a day. But he did it faithfully. After 3 weeks, he realized he could stand up from his favorite recliner without using his hands to push himself up. A month after that, he noticed he could climb the stairs to his bedroom more smoothly. Frank was so encouraged by these micro-successes that he began adding new exercises to his routine, bit by bit. Over the course of a year, he transformed his balance and felt decades younger. The surprising insight here is that your brain and muscles respond best to constant repetition of small tasks. Waiting for the motivation to do a big 30-minute routine might lead to procrastination, but committing to a simple 2-minute session is easy and approachable. Start by promising yourself that you'll do 30 seconds on each leg every morning. Once that becomes a habit, you might naturally expand it into more exercises or longer sessions. Emotionally, there's a powerful benefit to achieving small milestones. Each time you complete your short routine, you reinforce the belief that you can take control of your body's well-being. The more frequently you practice, the sooner you'll find yourself performing daily tasks with newfound ease. Walking upstairs, carrying groceries, or simply getting out of a chair without that little grunt of exertion. The best part is, these small daily victories build momentum. You realize that aging doesn't mean you must accept a downward spiral of strength and mobility. You can reclaim, maintain, and even improve your balance with consistent, focused effort. Take a moment now to reflect on all the points we've covered. You might be thinking, where do I start? Or how can I make these changes stick? The truth is, you don't have to revamp your entire life overnight. Each point stands on its own as a stepping stone toward a more stable, vibrant you. If you simply choose one tip, a mini daily routine for instance, and stick with it, you'll start to see and feel real changes within weeks. Time has a way of sneaking up on us, and the window to take action can feel like it's closing. But the transformation you can experience in your balance and overall mobility is well within your grasp, no matter your current age. The only catch is that you need to act. Don't wait for the next fall to scare you into change. Seize this moment while the motivation is fresh, while the realization that you can stand on one leg, or aspire to, is energizing rather than frightening. Think about how each of these 5 insights can apply to your daily routine. Maybe you'll focus on core exercises in the morning, Tai Chi in the afternoon, or a brief practice session whenever you catch yourself being idle. Picture a day in your life after you've implemented these strategies for a few months. You get out of bed feeling stable and sure-footed. You move around the kitchen preparing breakfast without clinging to the counter for balance. You confidently step out onto the porch, walk the dog, pick up the mail, simple pleasures that now feel joyful instead of anxiety-inducing. Perhaps you even head out to the park to meet friends or family, relishing the fresh air and warm conversations. That sense of renewed independence and possibility awaits you. We'd love to hear from you. Which of these 5 insights spoke most directly to you? Take a moment to share in the comments one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Hearing your personal experiences and reflections helps strengthen this community. Your thoughts also give us valuable feedback on what topics matter most, so don't hesitate to speak up. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this content with anyone you think could benefit. Remember, every little step you take to improve your balance is an investment in your well-being. From my perspective, one of the most gratifying parts of life is realizing that growth never stops, no matter how many birthdays you've celebrated. You are far more resilient and capable than you might think. By taking these steps, you have the power to dramatically lower your fall risk and live with a greater sense of security and freedom. You're not a passive passenger in the aging process. You're in the driver's seat, steering toward a future that's balanced, strong, and brimming with possibility. Thank you for spending your time here. I hope you feel encouraged and empowered to start putting these tips into practice. because real change happens when you decide to make it happen. Here's to standing tall, stepping forward with confidence, and enjoying every moment that lies ahead. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.